So let's move on to the solver. The solver is another feature that comes with Microsoft Excel, and it's basically GoalSeek's big brother. With GoalSeek, you can change one input to modify the output. With the solver, you can change multiple inputs and also set constraints for these inputs to achieve a certain objective. So the solver is actually an add-in that comes with Microsoft Excel, but it's not activated, it's not enabled by default. So we're going to have to enable our solver add-in. And before we do that, I just want to note that depending on how you've installed your Excel application, you may not have installed the solver add-in. I'll say 99% of you will have installed it, but there may be a few of you that haven't, and if you don't have this option to enable your solver add-in, and you can go back and install it without reinstalling Excel, you can go to add or remove features to your Excel application and just add the solver. So let's go add the solver now. Let's go up to your developer tab if you have that enabled, and you can just click Excel add-ins here. So here's the solver add-in. I won't add it just yet. There's another way to add that as well. So if you go up to File, Options, you can go to your add-ins tab here, click Go, and you can also just add the solver add-in here. So I'll click OK, and you can see it thinking, adding the solver. Now if you go to your Data tab, here's the solver. I'll open it up here, and you can see that I've already added a scenario to this. So here I want to set the objective, the home value, to max. I want to see the maximum value of the home that we can achieve. And here's a bunch of parameters down here, and here are all the values that I want to be changing. So I want to change the home value, obviously, and also want to change the down payment percent and the interest rate. So in our application here, this may be shopping between all the loans that we've acquired to see which one suits our needs best. Again, we have some constraints down here. So our first and primary constraint is that the monthly payment cannot exceed $3,000. Next up, I want to provide a constraint for all of the variable cells that we're going to be changing. So first I have the down payment percent. We're going to set that between 33% and 3%. Home value is going to be between $1 million and $150,000, and the interest rate is going to be between 6.5% and 3.5%. So when I click Solve, it's pretty obvious what's going to happen. It'll change these variable cells to accommodate the constraints and keep the monthly payment less than $3,000 while maximizing our objective, the home value. So I'll click Solve. So here's just kind of your success window. I'm going to click OK. And so you can see that it's changed all these values, some of the values, specifically these three right here are changed values, and maximized the home value without exceeding our $3,000 monthly amount. And with our simple application here, it's pretty understandable that we've maximized the down payment to minimize the amount of dollars in the mortgage and minimize the interest rate to accommodate the maximum home value for $3,000. So it's pretty simple again here. But note that this solver is a pretty powerful tool, and as you gain larger and larger data sets and more complex workbooks, this can be a really powerful feature to help you analyze. Now I want to go back into the solver and showcase just a couple more things. I'm not going to showcase how to add and remove constraints. This is pretty obvious. It's just a simple dialog box right here. But if we go back in here, we can load and save different problems. So I haven't saved this problem yet, but let's go ahead and do that. And basically what this is going to do is we're just going to save all of these parameters to the sheet somewhere. So you'll see this is just kind of a bunch of gobbledygook here, but we can load these values back into the solver if we want to solve the same problem again. This way we can store different problems in your worksheet or your workbook somewhere and load them back into the solver one at a time depending on what we want to analyze.